Sorry guys, my internet went down. So yeah, my internet went down for like 1 minute or 2 minutes. I'm back. If you don't see the screen, just refresh in case. In case you don't see the stream, just refresh. But okay. Yeah, my internet went down, so the video will be cut. PT. So what I was saying is that here inside broadcast, which is inside player group broadcast, yes, we can do the job and we can send out the message. I think it makes sense to me because it's just the player group. I think it's clean enough, you know, if we do it this way. I think it's clean enough, so let's keep it. So let's remove all of this because we don't have any more the overrun. We don't need any more and the message ID. We just need to cycle on the members. So basically what it does here is cycle on members of the group or on group members and send out a message. Okay, so this is what it's doing. So it's just cycling on all of them and then is using the send message. Now the send message, I think in our case, can be just chat manager send message. I think would be enough. What is it? Receive? No, send. What is it? No, I think it's on the. I think it's on the client. Okay, because here we are getting members and message can't client none. No. Simpler than that. It's simpler than that. It's simpler. We just need to get the member, and from the member of the group, we just get the receive say message. I don't remember if we need to do receive say or receive system. But I think the receive say was already splitting between the different message types, right? We have to double check that, but I think it's okay. And this one is taking as an input yeah, I don't know exactly why we are recreating it twice, because we need, I think the easiest for us is just to send out this message and that's it, right? So just use this as a parameter. Yeah, let's do this. Why I have to do it twice? No idea. Maybe there is also here the public and the private. No, I don't think so. I don't think there are two methods. There is only one method, which is called broadcast. Broadcast member list. Yeah, so okay, so let's change this function and we will have instead of this we will have only the message itself as a parameter. And I think it's perfectly fine. So it would be like this, okay? It would be like this. The only thing we need to do, we need to change it also on the header, because obviously now we change the signature of the method. So group manager, send group, now broadcast. There should be a broadcast here. No, it's in player group, it's not in group manager. It's in player group, player group, come on, where is player group? Friend class, yeah, I understand it's a friend class, but okay, see, player group broadcast, okay, so this one we change it and we put it like this, FPS, okay, and it's public already, okay. I think it's fine. We are doing some changes, you know, which are not respecting exactly the way the old server was working. So I'm a bit, you know, I'm very cautious in doing this kind of changes, and I'm doing it like very, no, very little changes, very small changes. I don't want to do big changes on this. But I think it's needed because we are, yeah, we are simplifying. We are greatly simplifying the way it was working because we had, you know, in the old client. Just to give you an understanding of what I'm doing. I mean, a better understanding of what I'm doing. In the old client, we had in the old server we had continuously, you know, this exchange of IDs. Right? Because we didn't have a way to replicate actors with their pointers, but we were really replicating IDs. So the server wanted to send something, for example, to send a message. So what he was doing, he was just getting the ID of the target player, then streaming this through our network connection and our network sockets. The client was receiving it. And then on the client side, it was another actor which was so was receiving the message, was decoding the ID. So from ID get player actor, and then it was actually sending the message. You know, so there was this thing needed in the old engine. Now with Unreal, we don't need this anymore because we can just, when we send the message, we can just specify directly the PS character, you know, the U character, the A character, yeah, sorry, the A character, and this is getting understood by the client perfectly without any issue. So this is why sometimes we need to change, you know, the old code to really remove all of that because it's not, you know, it's not reasonable anymore. So sorry, I did a bit of a mess. What is this? So we need to do receive say message, and receive say message is taking this, yes, like this. Okay. And also another thing that I'm trying to do is to go through the same functions as much as I can, client side and the blueprint side, because in the blueprint we have one function which is accepting all the messages that are incoming, and actually we have two functions. One is for the say and another is for the system. So everything that is sent by players goes through the say function. Everything that is sent by the server itself, like I don't know, the change of the time or whatever administrative message, is going through the system message, right? And then in the blueprints we have these two major entry points, and then we are splitting based on the chat type, right? This is what we are doing, which I think is cleaner probably than what we were doing before, so I think it's fine. So here we are back at where we were now that we fixed that, right? Now that we fixed that, so if someone is chatting with the group, right? If someone is chatting with the group, so now this we keep it, We keep it because we just made it, right? This is the one that we just made. Group broadcast is the one that we just created now, right? And this one is okay. So for this one, I think we are fine. Now the send group. The send group is on chat manager. It requires the client and a group message, which is actually an fchest message. Yeah, why is complaining then? Is it complaining because it's not accessible, like we said? Okay, because it's private. I mean, because it's protected. So I think we can just move send group to public at this point. I think it's fine. I don't have any issue with that. You can just move this one to up here and make it public. I don't have any issue with that. In the future, I think we could even like remove these two functions and just keep these two. But I don't want to make too many changes at one time. So I think when all the code will be ported, I will have to do one round of optimization, meaning looking again at the code as ported and see what we can really remove. Okay, we're just building at the moment. Okay. Still have a few errors, unfortunately, because we did some changes here. So we changed this variable to be no more a client but an APS character, I think. What is this? Send alliance. Wait a second. So it is trying to get get player controller iterator. So we are on the server side. We do this, okay, we get the player controller, okay, we get our actor, okay. The is ready was, okay, understand what it was trying to do. It was trying to understand if the client was actually properly initialized. How do we do it? How do we do it in Unreal? I think that we call the function. I remember that we had a function that was like set ready in world or something like that. We had a kind of an initialization function in the player, which I think we were calling in the blueprint side. And it was setting the client as ready. Now, let me see if I can find it again. I remember I added this kind of function because I had the same problem of understanding when the client was ready. I think I added something like this. Now, where was that? Where was that? I think it was inside PS character during the initialization or during the loading, maybe. I don't remember, but I think it was. Problem is that searching inside PS character is kind of a mess, but let me see if there is a set world something or set ready. Set ready. There is a set ready actually. There is a set ready. Set the player state to ready, for example, ready to receive chat message. Okay, perfect. Exactly this one. exactly this one. And there is also Israeli. Okay, we moved it from client to PS character. Okay, fine. So basically here we need to do it on the actor because we already have this function. So if we do it on the actor, yeah, it works okay. Fine. Then we have then what we have? Then we have this one, which is still a problem. Send alliance. No instance overloaded function chat manager match the argument list. Argument types are string, uint, alliance, and chat message. Okay, what is this send alliance function? So we remove the ID of the client. No, we changed the parameters completely. Actually, no, there are two send alliances. So there is one which has the name, okay, and then he has the character. Okay, he has the character directly. Okay, he has the character, then he has the alliance, and then he has the message itself. Okay, so like this, I think it should be okay. Should be okay. Hello, Bubble Dad. Sorry, I saw your message only now, so I don't know if you're still there. Are you still there, Bubble Dad? Because I'm actually streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and for some reason I was only looking at the chat of YouTube and not the one of no, I have a second monitor actually. I have a second monitor, and but I was not looking at the Twitch one. Sorry. I think you're gone now. Yeah, I think you're gone. We lost the guy. We lost the viewer. I think we lost him. Yeah, we lost him. It's gone forever in the void of the internet. It's okay. He was just asking if I had some C++ tutorials on U4. If you're watching this video back, no, I don't. But I mean, I don't have any specific in my mind. But the way I started was really to open, let's say, the third-person, kind of the third-person example, and just go through that because that's pretty good. It is there is a C++ third-person template, and from that you can really start to see how the classes are organized and such. So we should change all the PS chat message to F PS chat message like we said. Now here for some reason it's initializing to okay, because it was this one. Okay, you see there is a U fix me. I think we can remove the U fix me for now and put in something that actually is relevant, and we can get the PID and unbox it, and then we can remove the ID, which we said we don't care. We get the name, we get this as a string, which is empty, the action text, the type, the chat type, and this should be fine now. Now send message. What we should do here? PS character action command, right? Action command. So this to me is a say message, just with a difference. Yeah. It is just absolutely. So we send it as a receive. So the only problem is that this one has to be broadcasted to everyone. So this one should be chat manager. How do we broadcast today? How do we broadcast today these messages? Let me see 1 second. Handle chat message. Handle chat message, client target, FPS. No, this is a direct message. Guild alliance, send alliance and guilds and groups and shout. Send channel. Yeah, but here we are using chat npc my or chat npc narrate or this thing, so it is not in the list. No, it's not in the list, you see. So our so those messages are handled differently, which is very bad, by the way. I would like to have them tracked in the same place, but seems that it's not. But it's similarly to a chat group, it's the same thing, or chat shout. Chat shout, I think, is a good example because it's exactly sending it to everyone online. At the moment this is not ported yet. At the moment this is not ported yet. I think the shout and the others are not ported yet. But I think it's very similar to the same message, to the same thing that we do when we broadcast. Let me just check a second because I think I just don't remember. Come on, there's no broadcast in this page. No. Okay. There is this multicast, but the multicast, multicast. Yeah, we had this one. This one is taking a system message and is sending it to everyone. But this one is really to everyone, right? So it's really to every single every player in the game. While here, right? We are discussing about a specific action command that is sent by an NPC. Like, for example, when an NPC waves, right? You say like NPC blah 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 waves, and there is an action. Now the only problem, I don't understand how we are filtering the players that is receiving this message. Is action public? This is all part of the code that we never ported. So all this piece has nothing to do with the guilds, unfortunately, but has to do with the fact that we changed some functions which were used also by this class. And now we have the issue. Basically, for this chat npc my and chat npc narrate, I mean this type of chat types that we never managed up to today. I don't know exactly how to treat them at the moment. I don't know how to parse them. Because I don't understand exactly if this message was sent to everyone. I mean, no matter what. Because it must be in a range, right? It must be like all the people around you, around the NPC. I mean, it should not be to everyone. I'm looking at the old code to understand. Some NPC actions are now in the form of private actions. Okay, but first response gets 1 second delay to simulate the NPC thinking. Subsequent one add to the current time delay and send delayed. So is really sending this message. The problem is that who is sending it to? Let me search the code for this. I want to see when is receiving this one. You know, how is it considering it? Here we are on the client side, and here we are on the client side already. And it's just handling the format of this, but it means that we already selected. Okay, no more occurrences. Entire solution. Interesting. It seems to be inside the chat bubbles, so it seems to be that it's used only when a specific NPC is speaking with one player. Gem NPC action command. My action NPC my. Narrate NPC narrate. Is creating this chat message. Who is the client now? So who triggered that? Then there is the NPC itself. The name of the NPC, the text, and the type, and then this chat message is sent using this. I think it's sent directly. I think it's sent to one player only. It's not a multicast in any way. So, use to allow NPC to communicate through action to its environment. Use this to publish chat messages of type me, my, narrate for NPC. They can be either private to the client or broadcasted. Use one of the my action, my, narrate to override the default type of me. The text to send. Who to send it to? Okay, so who is who to send it to? An action public true if it should be a public action, otherwise it will only be sent to the destination client given by who. Okay. Nice. In this case, documentation really helped. So if is Yeah. If it's specific to a client, we just send it to him. Otherwise, we do the multicast, and the multicast is on a chat say range. Okay, I understand it a bit better now. I understand it a bit better. Okay, so maybe we should put some information here, but okay. Anyways, in the documentation there. So in this case, I can send this message only to this guy, right? So meaning that I can. The problem is that we don't have the send message delayed. We don't have this one implemented. So this one we should do a you fix me, not implemented yet, not ported, because ported yet to be done. So yeah, this one we will not do for now. We will just assume that it's sent immediately, and so here we can just do who and then receive chat message, right? Receive wasn't receive chat message. Receive say message. Yeah, receive say message. Receive say message, and then we just pass in the message, I guess. Right? He only has that. Yeah. So this way, this guy will receive it. Now, the problem is if is this part. If it's sent to multiple people, we don't have an answer yet to this. We don't have a code done for this yet, but okay, I think we can just ignore it for now. Let me see if we have any other send group message. Yeah, we have a problem here because we changed this. It is because we changed this. Where was the broadcast that we did one minute ago? There was one broadcast. There was one broadcast. For the player group. Yeah, send group, where it is. Okay, the one I wanted to get is this one, so okay, this one is just message, but yeah, is here. So broadcast. This one is in PS character and it's actually trying to send a message to the group. So there is one guy trying to send a message to his group. So there is, I think there's a standard, yeah, and he's sending in. So what I will have to add here is, so the difference will be something like this. No, I don't need to have this. I need to just have like get pidam box, get name, message text will be actually message, and the chat type will be the group, right? Will be the group. So the chat type, I think we have a chat group, I hope so. Yes, we have. Nice. And this one is an optional parameter. So I think it will be something like that. Translate, I don't know what is it. What is translate? Oh, let's put it as false for now. Okay, so now this broadcast is getting this as a parameter. Okay, so in this way it would work. I don't know exactly what this means. I mean, we are sending a group message. If the group exists, we do this. Okay. If the group doesn't exist, what do we do? We send it to ourselves. I don't get what is the second part doing. What is the second part doing, really? If the group is false, so if this player is not in a group, we are just sending a message which just contains ourselves. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't get it. Okay, so okay. Apart from that, who cares? We have two issues. We have another issue, which is there is another point where there is the send message of the group. Yeah, be able to compile this is freaking. I mean, it's a long job, huh? It's a long work. It takes time, boys. It takes time. Yeah, the same here. So we have the same problem here. So, but here is very different because we are trying to broadcast. What is this list? There is no. This one we will do it completely differently. We are not gonna do this thing of XML anymore. We're just gonna to send. This has to be changed. This has to be changed. It's not. This is okay. So let's just comment it out. We will do you fix me to be re-implemented. I mean, this one is not going to work this way, so we can just comment it out. Okay, we can just comment it out. Now, what other errors we have? Wow, we have an error in the printf. Why we have a printf? Why we even have a printf? We should not have any printf anyway. Removing guild, so it's just telling the server that they are removing a guild. Okay, fine, but it should go through the standard EU log. Should not be a printf in any way. Should just be a log actually. name I assume is an F string, and guild ID I assume is an integer. Yes. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Then what else? Sand guild. So yeah, because we have two versions, one with these 2 parameters and one with the 4 parameters. And the sand guild is not liking something. Character name, let me see. F string, yes. Character, okay, this is character. I need to remove this part. Okay, now we removed it. Okay, let's recompile it. See how it goes. See how it goes, boys. Okay, we still have some errors, but very few. Missing type specifier. Missing type specifier. Okay. And this. Well, this should actually be generated by Unreal when we. So did I include guild manager? Let me just check if I included PS Unreal. Yes, I did. I didn't include the generated one though. One second. Git manager. .h. No, we need to include the generated one, right? Whenever we have a U class, I think is in the. Yes, like this, right? Is in the header file when it contains at least a U class, which is our case here. We need to add this, and this will be guild manager .generated.h. Yes. Because it should be generated by the preprocessor of Unreal. Still one failed. I think I need to change this, otherwise it will not work. One second. First of all, I need the pragma once instead of the if def whatever, because otherwise it's messing up with the Unreal parser for whatever reason. And then I think in the H file I'm just trying to remember exactly how it is, but yes, I need the PS Unreal include as well. Yeah, sometimes I don't do it, so PS build info. Okay, so it should be something like that. So includes the H file and the generated, but I remember the generated was on the CPP actually. In this case, no, as in the .h. Okay. No, it's in both. It's in both. Yeah. The Unreal Engine .h is in both, and then the generated is only in the header file. Okay, fine. Why is still complaining? Remove it and put it in the CPP, but I don't think is what he wants, because actually the U class that we define is here, is in I think is in guildmanager.cpp, right? Yes, it's here, because we have some events which are actually derived from a basic Unreal class, and so we need to have the generation of the preparser header, that thing. Okay, so we need that. It's just a matter of having Unreal consider that class as an Unreal class and actually putting the information in it. So it should be okay. Should not be too hard to do. Still failing though. Still failing here, but maybe there is something else. Maybe there is some other error. Let's just go to the output and search if there is any other error, because maybe sometimes it happens that one error is shadowing the other error. So let me just try to see if in this list this is actually the first error. It is actually the first error only. Why doesn't like it? Okay, let's take another class, okay? Because just as an example, like NPC Brain. Yes, NPC Brain. NPC Brain is another one that has a U class directly. I mean, as a U class here somewhere, I think. Right? He has it probably in the CPP. Where is the U class? No, it's not here. NPC Brain. There it is. Yes, this one is the same. Thing. So it's exactly the same. So he has one event which is generated here. Okay. So the way it's declared. So he has the pragma once, and he has the NPC brain generated.h. Okay. So we should do the same in our guild manager. It doesn't have to include PS Unreal though. Okay. So in our guild manager, we also need this, so let's remove it from the CPP and let's put it here. I think I had it originally here, but okay. So it is similar to the NPC Brain. Then let me see if NPC Brain is doing something else in the CPP file. In the CPP file is only including PS Unreal and nothing else. Okay. And in our guild manager, do we have the same? Yes, we have the same. So this way, but this is the way I had it before, so which I'm a bit surprised. Hello, I see some people joined. Welcome. What we are doing, we are trying to have the guild manager class server side fully compile, so that we can start to call functions from the UI. I didn't build the UI yet because unfortunately I encountered a number of issues on the code, and so I stopped there. I stopped before that. Still complaining about this. Am I spelling it right, or guild manager.generated.h? Why is not creating it? Why is not creating this file? Maybe because I added the file and didn't regenerate the... Yeah, could be. Wait, I have an idea. Let me close this. Regenerate the project files, because maybe I added that class, you know, but I didn't actually tell to Unreal that this is part of the project. So let me regenerate the project files like this. And then we reopen it. And I think now it will work. But let's see. By the way, we are streaming on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so sometimes I see people joining on Twitch, and there is less people on Twitch because Twitch is fully dedicated to gaming, and so there are not many stream about development. Actually, there are some, but let's say it's not so many, and so that's why maybe there is less people there, and so we have more people following on YouTube. Okay, so I reopen, so let me try to recompile now that I regenerated the project files, because at the moment it's only a matter of Unreal Engine knowing that he has to generate the header files also for Guild Manager, which is not doing at the moment. I don't know why, but it's not doing it. And so when he finds U class, I mean when he finds this U class here and this generated body, it gets confused because it doesn't have it for this particular class and this particular file. It's thinking a lot, which may be good or not. I don't know. It's thinking a lot. Maybe it's good. Now, what I'm missing, boys, can you suggest me what I'm missing? It's not generating this file. It's not generating this file. So basically under intermediate, I think under is, are here the generated files? Yes. It is where it's is creating all the generated.h. And you see we have one for all the major classes, but there is not one for our guild manager. So I'm doing something stupid and I'm not seeing it. So I'm doing like a small mistake, I think. Something like that, but... So let's take another class and check, like user manager, okay? User manager .generated.h. So let's see how it is in our code. User manager. User manager.h as the pragma ones and as the include user manager.generated.h. Then in the CPP, he has the psunreal.h, right? And nothing else specific. Nothing else specific. And I think he has some U class, yes, here, right? So he has a U class declared in the .h. So for our guild manager, I think it's pretty much the same. So we have our pragma ones, we have our guild manager .generated.h, we have our U class. But the U class is on the CPP. This may be the difference. This may be the difference, huh? Yes. I think we need to move. I think he wants the U class to be in the header file. He doesn't want to be, because it actually is a declaration, so it makes sense, by the way. But for some reason in our code we add it in the CPP. Okay, so I think I can move this. Let's move this. Right? Let's move this to the header file. And we can put it, well, I think before guild manager. Yeah, let's put it before guild manager because it's anyway kind of a prerequisite for it to work. So let me put it here. Now the trigger, though, I think we have to implement it in the CPP, otherwise it gets confused. Let me see what we did for user manager, UPS game event. Yeah. We declared everything on the other side. We implemented on the other side, so which I think is more reasonable. Even if, for example, trigger here, we implemented it directly here. Okay, let me try to compile like this and see if at least it's generating the file. You know, this is what we want to understand. We want to understand if it's generating this pre-built thing. It's taking time. Reflection code generator. I think it's where, yeah, somewhere there that is generating those files. Maybe meanwhile it's compiling. Let's check if we have a new generated.h now. Yes, guild manager, there it is. You see, it generated it now. So yes, the stuff has to be, the U class and generated body has to be in the header file and not in the CPP, otherwise it's getting confused. Now guild manager, yeah, now this trigger, I think we need to implement it. Yep, otherwise it's not declared, so we need to implement it in the CPP. So let's put it in the CPP, maybe at the beginning, before the guild manager starts. Guild manager starts here, so we can implement it like here. And this one will be very simple. Will just be UPS guild check event, and then trigger, right? With no parameters. This will be easy implementation. Now guild manager should find it now because I think we have declared it here, which is our static class to static pointer, not to call it, to the guild manager, right? Okay, it's compiling. Still failed. I was hoping for a yes, sorry, I missed the void. I missed just the return type. Still failed. Okay, now I think at least he parsed that, and now it's giving some additional problems. So client num variable not utilized. Yes, because I think in this code we are not using it, and I think we can remove it then, because we are using client directly. So yeah, we can remove it. Also this one, member num temp remove, add back, send align notifications, send notifications. Okay, so let me just put this inside of this block, and then there is some error in message guild name. Yes, this needs to be dereferenced like that, and guild fee, what is it? It's just a number, so it should be fine. Okay, I think we are progressing. Is yeah, the compilation is going well now. It's not finished yet, but at least we are not getting, yeah, we still have a few errors on the printouts. Message secret is also an F string, so yeah, few pieces I didn't properly escape, so I need to do that. Still a few. I think it will be a number of those, by the way. Guild Alliance, PS Guild Alliance, last error, yes, is an F string as well. So, yeah. Some I did right, if you see here, and some I forgot. So, this was when I was doing the massive, massive porting of all the functionality. Yeah, here also I missed this one. I missed, by the way, also this one. The other seems to be there. I think I will rename the stream because I called it Guild UI, but it has nothing to do with the Guild UI yet. I think it's more fixing the server-side guild code, This is what we are doing. Okay, there's still a bunch of those. Last error. Yeah, all the last error. Let me check if I can just search this and change them all. Yeah, because you see there are quite a number. All this, all this, all this. Okay, I think they are all. Okay, nice. By the way, they released the 4.21 Guild. This is something that I commented out, and I need to. Oops, I need to. Yes, return a value. They released 4.21 actually. I don't know if you have seen it, but it seems to be pretty good. Yes, it seems that some of the systems, yeah, you see, it was released on the 7th of November, so 10 days ago or so, and at the moment we are on 4.20. I think we will stay on 4.20 for a bit, because I don't want to change version every 2 months or 3 months, otherwise we spend more time converting than. But they released this, seems to be a lot of optimizations, a lot of updates. This Niagara engine is not. They didn't add RTX yet. The new NVIDIA RTX. I think they hope they do it soon, but. There is a lot of mobile, yes, there is a lot of gaming on mobile. Mainly for Fortnite. You see the majority of the screenshots are Fortnite screenshots, because they are expanding the engine thanks to the money that they get through Fortnite, which must be a pretty massive amount of money considering the number of players that they have. Okay, inviter ID says is not correct. It says potentially uninitialized local pointer variable. Okay, inviter ID. What you don't like of inviter ID? Yes, is here. If inviter ID, inviter client. Can we remove this stuff and just pass in inviter client? Yeah, let's do this. There is a piece of code that I said before that was a bit stupid. I said this piece of code is not really needed, but let's keep it like for ready build. Oh, one succeeded, boys. Okay, so finally it compiled. This massive freaking Guild Manager CPP compiled. Even if we had to remove a lot, at the end it compiled, which is very nice. Which is very nice. And I think it requires. What it requires? You know what it requires, huh? GG. GG. Okay, nice. GG is done. So this one is compiled, which is nice. Now we have a lot of commented code through, but at least I think that now we should be able to launch finally the editor. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, good. The editor is starting. with our plan shift stuff in it. Which is good. Nice. Now, before doing any change to the editor, so I think we can maybe commit. Yeah, I think we should commit what we did up to now, just to set a kind of a baseline, you know, before doing any changes. So let's commit to SVN what we did, because at least Guild Manager compiles, the editor starts, you know, and we have these new pieces in. Also, I can update SVN now and see. Let me just update and see if someone has checked in some other stuff in the last few days. Yes, there is a bunch of updates. None of those are in conflict with my stuff, which is very nice. Okay, good. Good. So I think we can, let me just do something. Let me just, yes, check in this. So, do we need all of this? Character, guild info, messages, game mode, Unreal, cache manager, gem, group manager, guild manager, yeah, all of this we need. Okay. So let's say that is added, what we did, we added guild manager and changed messages to notify clients of guild/alliance events. This is what we did, and I think that for now that's it. So we can check in all this stuff. Let me just check what is the difference in default engine. There's only this. I think it's okay. It's nothing relevant. Okay, so we're checking that. So we set a baseline, which is nice. We also got the new content. Now we can start to make changes. We start the editor again. So now what we want to do, we want to start to create a UI, finally, and in the UI start to call the specific server functions, you know, to update the information of the guild or to retrieve the information of the guild, and we want to start to change those messages one by one, because those messages are still using the old XML code, which is not really needed at this point. Hello, Maui. Yeah. So let me just check our mission. So I think that, yeah, this one. The first one, I mean, we can even consider it done. I mean, it's not done, but it's, yeah. This one, I mean, this one I would say is done. Even if we commented a lot of stuff, but let me just remove these percentages, because I was just giving these percentages to you the last time just to give you a feeling of where we were, but now these percentages are not needed anymore. So I think we can say that this one is done, right? This one is done, and the first one, this one is not really done. I mean, it's just part of it. So we did this one first, but okay. So we need to check these interfaces, this UI, and this UI has actually 4 different tabs, starting with the settings. Now, do we already have a window which has different tabs? Yes, we do, I guess. It's the one for the skills, right? or not. Yeah, I think so. I think the one that we created for the skills is already divided like that. Let me check. When skills, right? When skills. Yes, when skills. I think here, as here at the top, a tab selector. Yes, what we call a tab selector. You see, WD tab selector. So, and this will be kind of the same for us. So I think we can clone this window. I think we can clone this window, start from this, so we don't have to start from scratch, and then implement the stuff that is in it. Let me see. Let me see the code behind. So when you are clicking one of the tabs, it's actually calling a dispatcher with a specific ID, and I think that the ID is the ID of the button itself. And here is switching the panel to the one that has been clicked. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. It's setting the visibility of a specific panel to, okay. Active panel, click the panel. I think it's good. I think it's exactly what we need. Now I don't know exactly all these panels how they are created, but let me see. Where do we have the different panels though? Because I'm a bit confused now. Where do we have? So he's saying that he's activating a panel. Okay. Set clicked panel to scroll box stats, scroll box function. Okay, so these ones are the panels. These ones. Okay. Scroll box stats, scroll box faction, scroll box combat. Okay. Scroll box magic. And I guess that these ones are the ones that are getting initialized at the beginning. Yes, that it is. Okay. I think I understand how it works. So, should we use the same reasoning? I would say yes, it's pretty much the same. The difference is that it's not only stats, skills and factions, but is the information about the guild. But for every panel we will have some information to retrieve server side. I think we want to retrieve it all. Well, we want to retrieve it all at the startup. Well, actually when the character is ready. I think this receive skill stats data is not in the construct, I think. Even if it seems it's in the construct. Because you see that in the construct what it's doing is requesting skill abilities to the server. And this request skill ability, yes, is then going server side and asking about it and blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's doing that actually. It's doing that, which means the client may still be connecting, but I would say that all the information of the guild is anyway static information. I mean, it's not something that is related to the status of my character, but it's just stuff that is related to the database. So I think it's fine. I think we can load in the construct event. Okay. Okay, so I think we can clone this. This win skills. We can copy and paste. And we can call it win guilds or guild. It's one guild, right? Yeah, it's one guild. Let's call it win guild. And now the problem of the windows is that every window in our system needs to be managed by a kind of a layout manager, which is our W container, right? And our W container is sitting, I don't remember where it's sitting, it's sitting here. And our W container basically has all the windows available to the game and is activating them, or so making them visible or invisible based on what you click, or shortcuts, or based on, you know, what you need. So this is how it works. And if you go and check the initialization of this guy, we will see that we also have canvas skills, right, which is the one that we copied from. So we need to create another canvas which is exactly the same, but it's called canvas. So considering the size of the window is the same, maybe, you know what I can do, I can just scope it. Well, it doesn't have any properties anyway, so no, I can just add a new one. So we will add a new canvas variable, and we will call it canvas guild. The type should be canvas panel, actually. Should be editable, yes. And I think that's it. Let's keep the same kind of syntax. Okay, so now what we need to do in our array of, these are all the windows that we have in the game basically. So we need to add a new one, which will be 21. Wow, we have 21 windows already. Holy moly. So we get our canvas guild and we connect it here, right? Now we need to do a few other changes. First change we need to do is to ensure that, let me see if there is already mapping, because there is a mapping table. Which is under data, I think. Yes, it's under data. Which keeps all the window names, which is this one. And you see that under loot. Yeah, loot was the last one that we added. Right. So I need to add a new value here. And this new value will be guild. Assuming it doesn't exist yet. Chat character square special menu. No, it doesn't exist yet. Okay, perfect. I just want to keep it in the right order, so I will move it just under loot. So here, so it's the same. The sequence stays the same, which is nice. Okay, so now we also have an enumeration which is keeping track of that particular window. Okay, now here I don't think I need to do anything else because all the creation of the window stays the same. No, I think I don't have to do anything else. Now what I need to do is in the variables here, because actually this W container has a number of variables to manage the window data. So for example, if my window needs to have a border or not, we can say yes. We add a new element and we say yes. If the window should be by default visible, in our case will be no. If the window can be closed, and in our case it will be yes. If the window can be moved, and in our case it will be yes. Then we need to have the height and the width. For this one, I think we can reuse exactly the one of the skills for now. Right? So my wind skill is actually number 10. So there's 320 by 1000. Why is 320 by 1000? Seems to be pretty wrong. No, sorry, this is the height, so it's the minimum. Okay, 320 minimum, 1000 maximum. Okay, I understand. Okay, so yeah, we should do the same. So 320 minimum, 1000 maximum. Then we change the width, and the width for number 10 was 640, 1120. We will do the same. 640, 1120. Then we have the default screen position, which we don't care too much, but anyway we put it in as well, which is 100, 100. I mean, most of the windows are there. Then there is the default size, which should now then match with the numbers we just added before, which in this case seems to be 640 by 450. Okay, I will keep it the same for now. Then window classes, we have to add a new one, and we need to have it point to guild. Yes, to my win guild. Deco array, nothing, and can be resides. Yes, can be resides. Also, we add it here, and we do. No, okay. It's not a resizable window; it's a fixed window. Can I move this above? No, I cannot. Yes, I can. Okay, nice. So we have all these parameters that we have to change all together, which I think is great. Okay, good. So we did this, meaning that our window is now available in the system for us to instantiate it and open it up inside the W container. Now, what else we need to do? Now, for sure we need to change these tabs. We don't have 6 tabs, we have only, I think, 4. How many we have? 4. Right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are the ones that we have. So we only need 4 tabs. Now let me see if I can just delete this, or yes, I think I can. It's just buttons one next to each other, so I think it should be fine if I just delete it. So we keep 4. I want to rename those thingies. I want to rename this to something more meaningful. And in particular, this will be settings, members, permissions, and alliance. So this will become settings, permissions, members, which I misspelled, members, and alliances. An alliance, okay. Why I placed in a different order, I don't know. Okay, so it was just the wrong order. Now, progression point, I mean, this thing that is here, we don't care. I don't know even why we have it here, but we can delete it. This thing, this other progression point, where is it coming from? I mean, all of this we can delete. It's not needed. Even if it gives a kind of a background. Yeah, so I can delete this. Do I need any text? Do I need any text? Let me see. Do I need any text on the right? No, I don't need any text on the right. So I think it's okay. I don't need it, so I can delete this one only. Even if when I delete it, it seems that the background kind of goes away, which I don't know if is a good idea. What happens if I leave the text empty? Yeah. Okay, let's leave it like this. Okay. So we have our window. Okay, we have our window. Now probably we'll have to make it a bit bigger because it doesn't fit the sides. I don't know. We will see. We will see. So, but we save it for now. I'm pretty sure this thing will not compile. Right? Is it compile? Is it trying to compile? Yeah, it's not compiling because there are a number of pointers that then are not working in the initialization. So now we have to change the code to actually, you know. So like these two tabs that don't exist anymore, so we should remove them. And so the same for this, doesn't exist anymore, we should remove it. And this should go here, this should go here. Okay, so now here is setting the various ID 0, 2, 3 and 4. I think it's okay. I don't have a problem in having a specific ID connected. The text, so this is the actual text that is getting displayed in the box, right? So I think we can have settings, members, and permissions and alliances. Alliance, okay, so we have that, so yeah. Button label. My label is spelled wrong. Okay, at this point, what do we do next? We get the controller, yes. We win stat skills. Yes, we need to create a new variable on our Planeship player controller, which is pointing to this window. Okay, fine, can do it. So as you see here in our player controller, we have a number of win underscore, which are basically all pointers to our window. So we will have a win guild. This is because we want to have an easy way to access the window from the player controller, right? So this will be of type win guild. Okay, fine. This variable has to be, I guess, editable. No, it's okay. Okay, it's okay. Now, if I compile and say player controller, now I can see it. I can see this variable from the other side. So I go here, and so now Planeship player controller, I should say set win skill stat self. What? Why is saying self? A bit confused here. It should not be self, it should be player controller, no? And I'm a bit confused. So in win skills, for some reason, we set a variable win stat skills object reference. What is this? Ah, yes, this window. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry, I was confused by the way it was spelled, but it absolutely is like that. So we just do this. We do set win guild, right? And then we do, yes, self connected to this, and this connected to this, and this connected to this, and we can remove this one. Sorry, this one. Or maybe it doesn't like it, so let me do self again, because it's still hooked to something else. Okay, like this. Okay. Now what it does a for loop from 0 to 4. Well, we're missing one though. It was 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why we're missing one. So it's doing a loop and is requesting the skill ability. Okay, I understand what it's doing. Can we do it the same? No, I think we'll be. No, I think we'll be just one. I think we'll be just one call, right? I don't know. We should check on the server if it's one call or not. So when we ask for guild information, let me see. Let me see. Send, for example, send member permissions. Okay. No, set member. Send member data. Send guild data. Send guild data. Okay, send guild data is just the basic stuff, like the website, the name of the guild, and things like that, right? No, I want to see where it's sending the permissions, for example, which seems to be pretty tough. It's this one, I guess. It's called send level data. Yeah, it's this one. View chat, shut down, invite, remove, promote, edit points, public, private, give back down. Yeah. Okay. Is this function? So when is this function called? Send level data. Send level data is called. Okay, it's called in the creation of a guild. That's fine. It's called by these handles subscribe guild data. Handle subscribe guild data. Hello, Homer. How are you? And then there is this send notification, which is also sending out the guild data. Okay, so basically it seems that we have, you know, separate messages for each of the major panels of our guild window, right? So these are 4 and these are 4. Guild level member alliance. Okay, so we have 4 functions which are sending out the information to the client. So we can we can call these 4 functions, or we can just reuse this function. No, I think we can I think we can call these 4 functions. Why not? Is there already one? Because for example, this one is doing already a bunch of stuff, like this one is the creation of a guild. No, but the creation of a guild, I think I don't care too much. There are only these 2 points. There is this handle subscribe guild data, where it's checking if you are in a guild. If you are not, it's sending you a message saying sorry, you are not in a guild. Checking if it's already subscribed, which I understand what it means, but I have to check this part of the code why it's doing this. But anyway, if not, is creating this new subscription and blah blah blah, and then it's sending all this stuff for the first time. And then I guess that when the data is changing, let me just see when the data is changing how it works, huh? So let's assume that I change the permission, okay? Or maybe I invite a new member, maybe it's the easiest. If I invite a new member, so which is guild invite, well, let's say guild remove, because guild remove is even more immediate, so I don't need a confirmation or anything. So if I do guild remove, you're asking how do I handle the communication with HTTP or Socket.io? What do you mean, client to server? Client to server, I handle the communication through the RPC. I mean, I have a dedicated server set up, first of all. So my server is a separate process. So it's a separate executable. So I launch it separately from the client. So they are compiled separately. And then to exchange information between the two, I just use RPC. I just use the remote function call. So in my blueprints, what I do, I have, I don't know, a function of my player controller, which is this one, which is request skill abilities, and you will see it now because I have to do it for the guild information. And I just setting that this one is running on the server, is doing a bunch of stuff, and then is returning on the client the result. So this is how I exchange information between client and server. Is the easiest, at least is the one that I find the easiest. And now we have to do it for the guilds. So I will just check. I'm just trying to understand better the flow of the code. So when I remove a member from a guild, what happens? Okay, find a name, I find a member, the plane is not a member, verify the rights, so it checks if the guy can really do it, if he cannot do it, blah blah blah. Okay, and then here we have remove member. Okay, so I want to see. Okay, he unsubscribed that person from the updates, for the future updates of the guild data, and it seems to be okay to me. I don't know why we are doing this, but anyway. And then he's sending a message to everyone saying that he has been removed. and then it's sending a notification. Okay, so I think that this one, this send notification, is probably the one that is sending out the updated data to all the players. I mean, to all the members of the guild. Send notifications, which I removed here. Which I removed. Switch message. Okay. Yes. So this one will be the central method where we actually send the data. So this one we have to put it back in. Okay. Absolutely. And it is the one that is sending notification to all the ones that are part of the guild. Okay, fine. Now, my only question was what happens at the beginning, you know. So when we create, in the old code, when you open up the guild window, what happens? That's the question I have in my mind, right? So in the guild, the guild window is here. There is the old code, huh? There is the code made with the previous engine, with the other engine. So let me see if this window somehow is calling the server. I mean, it should call the server for sure. Now, post setup, subscribe. Is subscribing to certain specific messages, which I think is okay. He's doing all this setup. But I don't see. Maybe we push it from the server. In the setup of the window, I don't see a request to the server to send the data. Is there a way to check our code? Well, let's say that our code is given to everyone that wants to help. So if you just want to study, let's say what Unreal Engine, I think you can just study Unreal Engine. But if you are interested in helping us, meaning contributing to the development, and if you become, let's say, trusted enough, which doesn't take much, but anyway, let's say if you stay a bit with us and, you know, show that you want to help and things like that, I can give you access to our SVN, where we have, which is this SVN. So this one that I have here, you know, where you have basically the whole project. Where you have the whole project, including the content, including the sources and everything, and we have a wiki where you can also where there are instructions on how to compile and how to use it. So yes, I think it's possible. I mean, we don't just give it away to everyone, but just to everyone that is interested in contributing and helping us. So if you stick around and you are interested, then we'll give it to you, no problem. Okay, so I'm trying to see if we have a place where the client is actually triggering the request of new data, but it seems that it's just subscribing, you know, and I think that probably this is subscribe, maybe the one that triggers server side the subscribe guild data, which is then sending, you know, the full set the first time. Let me see when this one is actually called. think I have to look at the old code then. You have to look at the old code, I guess. Handle subscribe, handle UI message. Okay, so there is a message that is coming from the UI, and he's actually asking to subscribe to guild data. Okay, and then this one is calling the other one. Okay, I understand. So this subscribe guild data. So let me see if this subscribe guild data, where is coming from. Subscribe guild data is, for example, when you are calling the command guild info. Is guild info the one that is opening? Oops, I got disconnected. Is the guild info the one that is actually opening the guild window? I think it is, right? Let me launch again the old client and see, because I want to understand that. But I think that's it. So probably when you are, why there is a yes and no? So you can kind of opt out, and so you will not get the updates. That's interesting. This one is the old client, by the way. So if I do /guild info, what happens? Yes, he opens up the window. Guild info just opens up the window. So he subscribes me. He subscribes me. But I mean, there is the other way, which is just to click here on guild info, right? When I click on this one, I open up the same window. So I'm trying to understand, when I click on that button, does it sense this guild info command, or let me see. Ah, yes, you see? when you show the window, actually, it just launches the /guild info command. Okay, fine. Why? I have no idea, but let's say that it's okay. I have no idea why we had to force it through a command, but it's okay, so it's no problem. So so in our new world, how do we want to do it? In our new world, how do we want to do it? How do we want to do it? So it's basically this command, which is then is this command that is actually calling the subscribe, right? Yeah, sending this message to subscribe. Okay. So basically, at the end, where we land, I mean, is a bit of a. I mean, there are a lot of jumps, but at the end, where we land is here, is inside handle subscribe guild data. So basically, the first time I click on the guild button or I issue the command /guild info, what happens is that I go inside this method. And this method is actually checking if I'm in a guild, if I'm already subscribed, and then it's sending me the update to everything. So this is our entry point. Okay, this is our entry point. So now, do we want to send the guild info all the time as soon as a client connects, or do we want to send it only when he clicks on the button, or when he issued a command. I think maybe we want to send it only when he opens the window, because sending it at the beginning, I mean, it may be a lot of data, you know. If you are in a guild with like 200 people and there are like all the permissions and all the stuff, I mean, why you have to send it if it's not needed? So this is probably why we did it this way, you know, because to avoid sending unnecessary information all around for nothing. Hey Omer, it's nice you want to help. Thank you. Yeah, I think you can just, I mean, do you have an Unreal Engine already up and running? And we are using 4.20.3. So if you want to help on that, you should install 4.20.3 dash release, which is the one that we are using. Let me see if I can type something in the chat. No, I cannot. Do I? Yeah, this is the one. This is the release that we are using. 4.20.3 dash release, which is a specific tag in the Git repository that points to the one that we are using. Okay. The reason is that we want everyone to be on the same. We want everyone to be on the same Unreal version to avoid, you know, to avoid people messing up. You know, that it takes time, you know, just to debug what is going on 4.21, why is not working on 21, why is not working on 19. So, and also, as you know, there are differences between the different releases. So it's kind of important to keep it the same, so to keep it aligned. Okay, so what we learned is that this one is our entry point, okay, and we want to issue this command. Right now. So basically, the client, when I click on that, okay, let's do it through the command. Okay, let's do it through the command. So if I launch my game today and I issue /guilds info, is that popping up anything? Very good question. I think /guild info is probably part of the commands. So maybe I'm a bit in a train of thoughts here, eh? So, but why is not finding it? Command guilds. Command guilds is the one that I said I wanted to check, right? This guild command handler. This guild command handler. Where is this guild command handler? Is it here? Is PS guild commands? Now I'm a bit confused of what is this? So command guilds are all the commands, but I don't have this one ported, right, in Unreal. No. No. I don't have this ported. It is actually under client. It is under client. It is under client. Why is under client? So we have command users, for example, command guilds, command groups, command admin. But I remember that, for example, the admin ones we have in already. So because I have a number of commands. For example, slash item I can do today, right, in Unreal. And slash item is actually inside admin manager. Okay, it's managed in a different way. It's managed in a different way, slash item. Does it go to, let me see if it goes to a command something. Command admin, for example. Yeah, the problem with slash item is that it's a bit of a keyword everywhere. No, it's not in command admin. It's in another. So it's managed. So we have two ways. It seems that we have two ways of managing commands from the users, and it is a bit confusing. But because we have like an admin manager, this one, which is managing. So it's a bit small for you. I can make it bigger. Which is managing the spawning of a new item, right? It is one command that in Unreal Engine we can already use, because it is ported. But then we have a bunch of other commands which are inside these other classes, by the way, on the client, which is the weird thing. On the client, in which you see, for example, you have all of this PS group commands, invite, disband, remove, group members, blah blah blah. We have all of this. But I mean, this one is doing nothing else than registering these commands as available commands, so that the client can actually issue those commands. And then if you see the code here, is doing nothing else than just sending the message to the server. So actually this class is like 50 lines, you see. I mean, it's 70 lines, is this. So client side is doing nothing else than registering this and then sending it to the server. Now the problem is, when we receive it on the server side, when we receive, for example, guild remove, right? Who is managing it? That's my question. Who is managing it? Yeah, guild manager directly. So guild manager is receiving this command through handle command message and is parsing it. Okay. Okay. But guild info is something different, right? Guild info is not managed through guild manager, from what I understand. Come on. Yeah, guild info is inside. It's still in the client side. It's still on the client side. And he's doing this subscribe thingy, which is going to the class that we were saying before. I don't know, it's a bit of a convoluted way to do this, but I don't know, I guess it's working. I mean, I guess there is a reason for it, but it seems to me a bit complex. So the only thing we need, just to summarize, right? The only thing we need is very simple. Right? We have two ways. Oops. We have two ways to trigger the information of the guild. So the one is clicking on the guild button, okay? And the other one is issuing the guild info command, okay? So these two have to call the server side and go into our handle subscribe guild data. This guy. I don't know why it's so small. No idea. Okay. It has to go into this guy. And this guy is then sending back a bunch of stuff. He's doing basically this. He's sending the four, he's sending the four thingies. Wow. It's a bit too much. Okay, anyway. Is I don't need these parameters. Okay, so it's basically sending the four panels of information, okay, to the client, and then the client is displaying it. So that's basically what we need to do. So we don't need any more than this. We don't need any more than this, right? So the problem is that the handling of that command, which is this guy here, /guildinfo, this guy, is something that I don't remember how we do it at the moment. So let me check. If I send out a command from the client, I think this command is kind of handled by player controller. I have no idea. I don't remember. Let's search, for example, /item, right? Which is one that works today. I think that here somewhere we have a receive, no, we have a send. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's here. We should have one method which is sending the /item thingy. Okay, let's track it backward because it's the easiest. So the /item is inside, I guess, admin manager. We said yes, and yes, is here. So it's this admin command data which is getting initialized. I did it a long time ago. I don't remember it actually. I don't remember how this thing works at all. But I guess we have an admin manager anyway, and this admin manager should be initialized in plane shift game mode, right? Let me see. There should be an admin manager here somewhere. There it is. So this admin manager, I think this guy there it is, execute command. Okay, that is the thingy that now I remember that we used to execute all the commands. So I changed it a bit compared to the old version of the game because it was a bit dispersed, and you see now that I do everything in one place. So basically, if you're executing a command on the client side, what we are doing, we are checking if it's a user manager command, if it's a group command, if it's an admin command, and we should do the same if it's a guild command. The problem is that guild command handle group command. So and the group command. Our guild manager, does he has, because group manager has and the group command, right? Guild manager, does guild manager has handle guild command? No, it doesn't. You see, This code has been done by someone else, and so he decided to do it differently. Maybe this. Yes, actually is this. It's just called differently, but it's handle command message. Handle command message. Okay. I think we can use this. So that will be then our real entry point for the command. Because group manager, handle group command. In this case was getting only a string though. A string and a client. In the case of the guild, it's a bit different. It's getting the guild command message, which is actually a structure. Why we have this structure, by the way? Wow. Basically, it is the okay. It is basically the full command, but it's already pre-parsed. The point is that it's already pre-parsed based on the parameters that are going through. It's basically pre-parsed based on the command they're going through. So this handle command message, let me just check it a second. So the client was parsing this. This is becoming complex, boys. It's becoming complex, but it's okay. We like complexity. We are not scared about complexity. Not scared at all. It's perfectly fine. We can do it. And the command message. So this one is the one. Come on, you can find it. There must be another instance of this somewhere. Okay, here it is. Guild manager subscribe. So the command is actually message type guild command. Message type guild command, ps guild command message. So the client in theory should be creating this. Right. I'm just searching all the instances of this message to see where is generated client side. You generated only here? Okay. But anyway, I don't want to make things too complex. So I'm just surprised that in this list there is not the guild info. Why? These are all the guild's commands, but there is not the guild info, which is the one that is opening up the panel and requesting all the information. So it seems that for some reason it is pretty stupid, by the way, if you ask me, because it is pretty stupid, because here what we are doing, we are getting in a message which we assume is already a guild command message, right? While in our case think that you know what is the difference? I think the difference is that while with slash guild info we basically only have the command itself plus a yes or no, okay, but that's just the command itself. All the other messages are actually, all the other commands are actually coming from the UI, and they are not replicable. No, they are also coming from the command line. No, they're coming both from the command line and the UI. But there are a bunch of other commands like let me think to an example. Like edit level or edit points. Are all of these commands that I can issue? Guild level, guild points. Yes, probably yes. These are all commands. So they may come from the UI or they may come from the command line, but they are exactly the same. Okay. Okay, that's the idea. So the idea is that the UI is doing nothing else than issuing a command, and then it's probably refreshing the UI. Okay. So I don't know if you want to do it this way in Unreal as well, but I think probably yes, for simplicity of keeping the same code in case you are typing a message or in case you are clicking on the UI. I mean typing a command or I don't know. Okay, so let's move on. So I think I understand how this whole thing works. I think I understand it kind of well now. I understand it kind of well. So we have one entry point, which is this, but this one already requires this command to be a guild command message, right? So he wants this to be already formatted properly. And so this means there is a piece of code somewhere on the client which is creating that message. I need to find this, boys. I need to find where in the, there must be somewhere client side where this message is created. There should be a piece of code that at the moment I didn't port to Unreal yet, but I need to port. Right? There must be, because otherwise it's not working. Okay, so let me search. I'm searching entire solution, so I must find it somewhere. Searching entire solution. Entire solution. No escape. No, it's not here, because here we are server side. Here we are server side. It must be client side. Client. Okay, I think that's it. I think it's this piece of code here, and this piece of code here is it doesn't know. How does it know that this one is a guild command? I have no idea. But anyway, Then it comes here. I mean, it comes here. It goes into this and it creates the message. So this is where the logic is for sure. So inside of this, there must be the constructor of this. Where is the constructor of this? I want to see this constructor. The constructor of this must do parsing of the command somewhere. Messages.h messages.h there it is. There it is. I found it finally. Okay. Okay, this shit, I mean this stuff, this stuff is the stuff that is actually doing the work of taking a string and formatting it into our guild message command. Now the question is, where should I put this code? Because I think I did the same for the other commands, like for example the group command. There it is. There it is. Group manager and the group. Yeah, this one. But this one I added myself then? I think I added it myself. I think I added it myself. I think this one was not existing in the previous client, and that is why I got confused. No, actually it exists. Okay, for groups it existed already and it was on the server side. For guilds it exists only on the client side. I don't know why, but it was done this way. I don't know, maybe two different people worked on it and one decided to do it one way and the other way. Perfectly fine with me. But now we need to reconcile, otherwise it's a mess. So for the guilds I want to do exactly the same that is for the group. So I want to have a handle guild command which sits on the server side, which is taking a string in my client and is executing the parsing of that command exactly like for the groups. I don't want to have anything different. So let me do it. So we go in guild manager. We put here a public method which will be handle group command, which will be I would say added in a reel. So we are sure that we remember that we added it manually, and it is basically handling the it's parsing the command to see if it's a group command. Okay, this is what it's doing. Handle group command, and the why I said group command? Guild command. Guild command. So this one will sit here. And I need to do the additional parsing. Okay, I need to do here the additional. So I think that this one is this one, but I need to do the additional parsing. So for example, for group and the group command, let me check, because now I finally I remember. Oh yes, I moved the validation. Yeah, I moved move the validation to the server side. It is what I did. Interesting. So in reality, what I said is partially right. It's partially right. We don't need this method at all, because this method, incredibly enough, is this one. It's just named wrongly, but it's handle command message, and I need to change this. I need to change this to be an f string and a command, and I want to do the parsing here, taking the piece of code we have seen on the other side. Okay, so this will be f string command and not message, and then here what I want to do, I want to take this piece. So if there is if there are any parameters, I want to parse them here. There are no parameters. Wait. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong piece of code. It's not here. It's the one I was seeing before. Where was it? Please. Where was it? Inside messages, huh? This one. Okay. So we want in here, okay, do the parsing of the parameters. Okay. So I'm just typing it here. So taking it from, the problem is that now I have to go to dinner, my friends. Taking it from messages.h, no, taking it from this. Okay, so this is what we need to do. So basically we receive a command, okay, from the client side, and what we need to do is to parse it, in a way that, in the same way that is expressed here. So do we want to do it? So for example, let's take new guild. Okay, the first command, new guild. Well, for all of those is doing this. Is doing guild name equal to blah blah blah. Right? Is doing guild name equal to blah blah blah, and this is inside the. Yeah, he has to create a new command. He has to create a new thingy. Yeah, here I did the mix. Yeah. Exactly how I need to do it. Exactly how I need to do it. So so the same way I did it on Group Manager. So this thing. Let me take this a second, okay? So the same way I did it here, I do a parsing of this, which is my command, and in all these cases, command is the word of 0. Okay, that's fine. Then I get the words of 1, which is the player. Okay, fine. So here, in my case, will be that I'm getting. So for new guild is one of them. Yeah, new guild is one of them. So for new guild, I do this. This will be guild name, and I just take guild name, and I will do words get of 1. Now consider the create guild only has one parameter. right? Because I guess he only has one parameter, otherwise it would be different. So message is using only that. Yes, it's using only guild names. See, guild name, guild name, guild name, guild name, guild name, guild name. So it's using only this. So then I need to pass the guild name as a parameter, and that's it. Okay, fine. So I think we find our way through this. The problem is that I have to go to dinner now, which is about 8. And so I have to close the stream, but maybe I will stream after dinner as well, because I think I'm having fun and continuously continuing this guild manager stuff. So I will see you in about 1 hour. If we don't see each other, it means that I decided to do something else, like playing video games or I don't know, doing something else. And in case we will see each other another day, but hopefully we'll see each other after dinner. With that said, thank you for watching. And that's all for now, folks.